Welcome back to part 3. We're going to go ahead and fill and flush. First we're going to get rid of the old fluid. We don't want old fluid coming into the new pump. So I separate the systems out. We have the high pressure line, we have the low pressure return, we have a catch bottle. You want to make sure you do this the right way. Don't put it on a driveway or over dirt. Catch it, collect it, recycle it, do the right thing with it. Alright, easy enough. Take some compressed air, just a little bit.
Whoa!
Yep.
Whoa! You need to keep that. You want me to hold it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
That was a light amount of pressure too.
Alright, you ready?
You gotta hold this part.
This.
Yeah.
This is the reason why it's doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Alright, have the use of an assistant. Okay, system's clear.
I hope. You sure that's all of it?
Yeah.
Sure.
There's only so much in the system.
Oh.
Alright, we're gonna let this drain for a minute and then we'll put it back together and finish. As I mentioned in part 2, I have 2 methods of doing this. First, I showed you the compressed air method. Now I'm going to show you the hydraulic method. To do the hydraulic method, you will have to undo these clips, and they can be kind of a pain. Be real careful when you disassemble these because these are hard to find. And they have to get these separated so you can hook your high pressure up and keep the low pressure disconnected during the time of this procedure. Next thing you're going to hook up is the high pressure line to the actual pump. Now it's time to take the cap off. You want to use a little Vaseline on the high pressure O-ring so you don't rip it when you go back in with it. Now wiggle it as you go in. It does help make it go in a lot easier. And you want to really do it by hand until you get to a torque point. Again with our 5/8 flare. About a quarter turn past stop is about all you need. Alright, as you can see, this is low pressure return. I do have a temporary hose in place going into our catch bottle. I have our low pressure return still hooked up to the catch bottle. We're going to put fluid in here, and then with the use of assistant, we're going to rock the steering wheel back and forth. And as we do this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, number 1, we're flushing, number 2, we're bleeding. And that way we won't have a rapid rise in pressure once this thing starts. It'll almost be like it's ready to go, like you just went to Walmart, got back in, and you're going home. Good to go. Alright, next thing, get the car up in the air. So you want to make sure that you're on jack stands. You want to make sure your tires can move freely for this part because you'll be doing this procedure a few times. You'll be doing this about 10 to 15 times until you get the fluid nice and clean and red. Because, like I said, this is a Dextron fill. It's not actually power steering fluid. Very odd. Tip your screen upside down. Catch whatever residue is in there. Drop it in the reservoir. Now, you don't want to pour a lot in here at once. The system just doesn't hold that much. Okay, with the use of an assistant, have them turn the wheels left to right real slow, about 4 or 5 times. 4 times. Okay, return to 0 and stop.
Right here?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay, round 2. Okay, left to right real slow 4 times. Now as your assistant is moving the steering wheel back and forth, all that old fluid is being pushed right out the return line, right into here. So if you do not have a compressor to do it, this method will work just as well. I've had great success with this method and the other method, or in this case we used them both. Double insurance, I guess. Alright, now to return good fluid back, we're going to hook this system back up. We got the return line left. Pretty much after that we're going to do a leak test before we put this bracket back on so we can see, make sure that obviously this seal doesn't blow and this O-ring holds and no leaks from the return line. So we'll get that set up. We'll be right back. Alright, get your last clamp hooked up. Now I won't hook these clamps back up until I've tested the system and make sure it's not going to leak. I mean, if you're going to have to work on it, why, have to redo it. I have had one pump come to me bad out of the box, fresh from the store, so it does happen. Plan ahead. Alright, at this point we're going to do a final fill and bleed and then test it, and then pretty much that's going to be a wrap. Okay, we're on to the final bleed and first fill procedure. Now I do want to tell you, this pump was replaced before I got to it and the technician overfilled it, which blew the front seal. I just want to show you how much room there is not in this reservoir and basically what the cold fill level is. Cold fills right at the bottom of the dipstick. Flip it over, and after it's running you check it hot again, and it shouldn't be over that. And what I'm going to tell you is about 1/8 of an inch difference between cold and hot. With that being said, you do not want to overfill that reservoir, so we're going to fill it low, then we're going to get it on the ground, check it again, and pretty much we're going to add tiny bits of fluid until we get it perfect. This is not a quick job. There is no quick and dirty way to do this. You either do it right or you blow the front seal. So we're going to bring it up to the cold fill. Pretty much what I'm doing, I'm going to show you the inside of the reservoir here in a second, what I'm using the gauge for cold. Okay, go ahead and do the first round of back and forth 4 times, then back to 0. Yeah, keep going. Still needs more fluid. We're not even on the cold fill yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can still hear some noise, so I know she's not quite happy and bled out yet.
Are you sure that wasn't from the window wiper?
No.
Huh?
No, when it's full enough, the system won't be able to take in anymore.
Then the well gets really
It'll get real tight, yeah.
heaved.
Then you'll need the pump to build the pressure to turn the wheel. That's when you know you got it about right. And this can take a long time. You could be spending a good hour and a half just doing the fill and bleed procedure. But do it right, you won't have to mess with it for years. That's a good workout, ain't it?
Yeah. Damn well, just cracked my hand.
Yeah, that's how you know she's not full of air. you're pushing fluid. Fluid is heavy. That's why you need a pump in the first place. Alright, return to 0. Always be checking your fluid between rounds. And still nothing on the dipstick.